so back.
Text STREAK to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2. We'll even throw in a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever. That's STREAK to 215-215. STREAK to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms each Tuesday and Thursday at UA_CTSN. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Alabama women's basketball started play in the SEC tournament in a thrilling way on Wednesday, defeating the Missouri Tigers. Here are the highlights from the win.
Jennings gets the steal. Here's Austin, right side, 3 up. Once again, good. The freshman ace, Austin, with a trio of three-pointers, and it's Alabama 50, Missouri 37. Timeout Mizzou with 8:34 to go in the fourth quarter. What a performance. Ace Austin, 9 points, all in the last minute plus from Greenville. To Cody on the left baseline. Cody to Austin. Left corner 3. She's got it again. 4 3-pointers in this fourth quarter for Ace Austin. 12 points in a flash for the freshman. No good on the shot. Diana Collins with the rebound, and she will dribble out the final seconds as the Crimson Tide fans can celebrate in Greenville, South Carolina.
I'll have more in a moment.
Hey Bama fans, each Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Central, join us live for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This live streaming talk show features the latest on Alabama athletics with exclusive conversations with Tide student athletes, coaches, and media members giving their perspective on the Crimson Tide. You can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and X, with all conversations archived as well on the Alabama Insider podcast. Roll Tide with Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR.
We've got you covered for Alabama women's basketball tonight in the second round of the SEC tournament. Tip-off against Tennessee is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Central, with our coverage on the network starting at 7:15 p.m. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Man, we are off and running here on a Thursday. A shortened show here today is I am down in Livingston, Alabama, getting set for some semifinals in the Gulf South Conference, Division II style, between the UH Chargers and the University of West Alabama. I'll have the call right here on 97.7 ESPN Zone, along with Scott Tyson, while Wes Neighbors is back in the studios of 97.7 ESPN The Zone. How are you, Wes?
The safe confines of the studios here on Memorial Parkway. Yes.
That's right.
Doing good. Doing really good.
David Basil is kind enough to join us right out of the gate. There's plenty to dive into with David. And, of course, you can follow David Basil on X at David Basil. How are you, David?
Hey, Steve. What's up, buddy? Wes, how you guys doing?
Good, Dave. How are you doing?
Been a busy few days, and I was up in Fayetteville last night for the Arkansas-Texas game in basketball, and that was a rather historic game. You know, obviously beating Texas that bad, number one, which was, as you guys know, always a fun thing for a Razorback to beat those Longhorns like that and see a great performance by Acuff in Brazil. And then you had at halftime, you had John Tyson and the big announcement about the patch agreement for the athletic department. Then you had the announcement of Nolan Richardson's statue being done there at the stadium, and it was just a big night. Of course, the announcement of Coach Holt's passing, that was about 4:00 yesterday. So it was really just one of those historical days. I was up there with Coach Holtz, and I was there when I was playing ball when Nolan Richardson had his first season there in Arkansas. So it was really a sort of one of those historical nights for me being up in Fayetteville.
Wow. I mean, I was going to start off with the Arkansas win and the beatdown over Texas, but it's been a long time coming there for Coach Nolan Richardson. I feel like that's a long time coming, Baz.
Oh yeah, listen, it's been a point of irritation for Hog fans for quite a while, thinking that should have been done long before now. Not really sure why it's taking this long for it to happen. Because the thing you don't want to do, you like to do it before a person passes away. You want to do it before they die. And Coach Richardson is not a young man, and I'm not saying he's getting close to death, but he's at that point in his life where you'd like to do it, and they got it done. So I give Hunter Yurchek credit for getting that pulled off and getting that announced. And so at least he got to see and got to hear the crowd go crazy last night, and got to see the picture of what the statue would look like. And so it made a lot of Razorback fans happy, and easy math there to get that done. So that was a good move.
And from a business standpoint, the patches, I know that just passed through officially, but this feels like it's been another long time coming there in terms of the conversation with the Tyson folks.
Yeah, it sure has, Steve. The whole money situation at Arkansas has been a point of I guess you go back to the Little Rock Touchdown Club we had this past year where Hunter Yurchek said that the Razorback football program wasn't prepared to financially to win a national championship. Since then, there's been so much of a focus on finding money at Arkansas, and you would hope one of the big three, Walmart, Tyson, J.B. Hunt, one of those Fortune 500 companies in Northwest Arkansas was going to step up and really deliver. And John Tyson did. It's not the first time, he stepped up and played a big role in getting Calipari to Arkansas and helping fund the basketball program the last 2 years. And he took it to another level. The deal probably will be somewhere, nobody's made it official, but I would guess between $5 and $10 million a year for 5 years. I would guess somewhere around there. At some point that'll come out. But yeah, they needed some good news like that. We still don't have a stadium name. Stadium naming rights has not been done, I guess, for the last 3 years. I think that's coming down the chute sometime in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So yeah, that came at a really good time, and that obviously made for a big night last night as well.
And the news of the day, you mentioned it right out of the gate. What was your first reaction to hearing the passing of Coach Holtz?
Well, he's not been in good health for quite a while, and we knew this day was coming. And to be honest with you, he lived longer than a lot of us thought he would. There'd been a lot of rumors that he had passed. Every day you look on somebody would send you a clip. Hey, sorry about Coach Holtz passing, and it wasn't true. So 89 years old, he lived a great life and a full life, and affected a lot of young men. Changed the direction of my life when he took me from Panama City, Florida, up to Fayetteville, Arkansas back in 1981. And so I'm forever grateful for that. And he was a legendary coach. Wasn't perfect, didn't do everything right, but he did a lot right. And he was a winning coach. Nobody's ever taken 6 different programs to a bowl game. And to me, that's what tells you what a great coach is. He can go to anywhere and win. You know, it's one thing to go into a program where you've got resources and you've got, recruiting grounds that are fertile. But that guy could go into anywhere and win. And I'm just thankful that I was a part of his program. You know, he coached in 6 different programs, but it was really in Arkansas where he became a national celebrity. You know, he'd been at William and Mary, North Carolina State. You know, the Jets was a disaster. And Frank Broyles hired him in 1977, and he wins 30 games in 3 years. He's in the top 10 in 3 consecutive years. His first year at Arkansas. He's on the Johnny Carson show. He's doing magic tricks, and obviously that paves the way for what was to come later.
I saw that video of him talking to, I think, the Notre Dame football team a couple of years ago, the newspaper trick where he's tearing it up. Did he ever do that with you guys back in the day?
Oh, yeah. I would imagine there's not a football player that played for Lou Holtz that did not see the torn up newspaper trick, which is fine. He was good at it. I don't care if you've seen a trick 100 times. If you do it in front of somebody, it's still amazing me to watch it. And so, yeah, he would do those, especially those first 2 years, he would do them. And, of course, that was the other thing, too, about Lou. After 5 or 6 years, you would see all the magic tricks. You would hear a lot of the same things. And so his shelf life wasn't always long. His time at Arkansas, if you look at it, it's the longest of any college that he coached except for Notre Dame. I think he was 10 years at Notre Dame, 7 at Arkansas, and then the others fell behind that. But, yeah, he was really great. He'd always have something positive, motivational to say. And you guys know I've done the Touchdown Club for the last 20-plus years, and I've brought in 250 speakers, and I will promise you, none of them are better in front of a mic, in front of a group of people speaking than Lou Holtz. He's just his lists, his quips, his sayings, his energy. He was really a remarkable, charismatic guy, and really one of the legendary coaches.
Well, did you ever have a conversation with Coach Broyles about what he liked about Coach Holtz?
I don't really recall at the time. One of the things that I do think about Coach Holtz that I think he got from Coach Broyles, you guys know this was the 30th year of the Broyles Award this past year. And I think, you got to give Coach Broyles credit for looking at a guy in Lou Holtz that was a disaster at New York, the Jets. I think he was 3-6 when he got fired, and saw something there. And I think that one of the things that Coach Holtz learned, even though, he spent 1 year at Ohio State with Woody Hayes, is that I think Coach Broyles helped him understand the importance of the great assistant coaches, because he had some great assistant coaches at Arkansas, and many of those, had played for Frank Broyles. Jimmy Johnson was there with Lou Holtz and others, and so I think he was really good at finding good assistant coaches like Coach Broyles did. He was really good in preparing for big games. When nobody gave you a chance. You guys remember the 1977 Orange Bowl, when had 3 players suspended and an All-American offensive guard that was injured, and 24-point underdog, and he beats Barry Switcher's, what everybody perceived was going to be the national championship team. He just beat them like a dog, one of the biggest games ever. And he was just really good. We beat Texas in 1981 when I was a freshman, and nobody gave us a chance to win. They were number 1, and we might have been 18 or 20. But everybody knows in Arkansas, I've heard me tell this story. He comes in the locker room, and anybody who played for Lou Holtz has a Lou Holtz impersonation, and I do too. But he came in the locker room before the game was played, and he looked at all of us and he said, "Men, when the national media come to this locker room after the game is over, you tell them this was not an upset. Let's go." And we went out there, and it was 21-0 by the in the middle of the second quarter. 42-11 by the end of the game, and he just knew how to get you really prepared. Now, listen, obviously, Wes, you played it under, one of the greatest of all time, and nobody was perfect. Lou had his warts, and he could be a jerk. He could be a lot at times. It was his way of pushing buttons. I didn't always like, but the ultimate thing is he wanted you to win. He wanted you to be the best you could be.
Well, I was always impressed by him. I know that, and I know he did a lot of good in his life, and the people that played for him all liked him. I know that. So
yeah. Well, did you beat West? Didn't you beat Arkansas in '79? Were you already gone by then?
I was in 9th grade in '79.
Okay. I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah.
You're my.
So we beat him when he was at Notre Dame.
Gotcha. So you beat him at Notre Dame. Yeah.
See, Wes is big, but he's not that big.
Yeah.
So of course I got there in '81, and so I got 3 years with him, and we really had some good years. And of course, my teammates were Billy Ray Smith and Gary Anderson and Steve Cord and Steve Atwater and Wayne Martin. And so, I got him on the back end of his 7 years at Arkansas, but he was still he was a tactician. Again, he hired great assistant coaches. He would push you. He would push buttons. Again, some buttons you didn't like, but he would always push you to be the best you could be. Also, too, I don't know about what Bear was like, Wes, but Lou was a guy who always tried to teach a lesson about life, about being a good father, about being a good husband, being a good friend, about being a good teammate. So we always had Lou Holtz talk every day. He would do something every day.
That's what Coach Bryant did as well, which is different. I know every day you had a team meeting with Coach Bryant every day, and you could hear and I've talked about this on the radio. When he came close to the room, you could hear the air suck out of it.
Yep, that's right. Did you guys, Wes, when Coach Bryant would enter the room, would you all sit up in the room? Or
you could hear every chair. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah.
Everybody does that, but I knew you did.
But you could,
freshman, you did it. Yeah.
You could tell how close he was to the room of how much Mal was squirming.
Yeah, we that's right. We have some clips of Bear, talking to the team too, and again, Lou was a master speaker, and so he talked. He had this list, and he sort of talked like he was talking through his nose, and he'd talk 100 miles an hour. But man, it was firepower, high energy, and so we knew his dream was to be at Notre Dame. When we were there, we knew it, and of course. It sort of turned sour there in '83 when he was fired by Coach Brules. But he goes to Minnesota. He turns Minnesota around in a couple of years, and boom, he's at Notre Dame. That's the place he always wanted to be. He was a strong Catholic. His faith was very important to him. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he was buried there at Notre Dame. We hadn't heard the funeral. I hadn't heard the funeral details yet, but Notre Dame is where he wanted to be. And I've got some buddies that played for him at Notre Dame, and it's just it's really cool to just like Wes. When you play for one of the really unique guys, it's a great memory. It's funny. I don't know about you, Wes, but when Coach passed yesterday, I got a ton of text messages. Said, hey, so I heard about your coach. Sorry to hear of his passing. And I never really thought about that I am forever sort of linked with him, because when 17-year-old David Basil left Panama City, he left with Lou Holtz at Arkansas. So for the next 10, 20 years of my life, that was a narrative. Oh, Basil, Basil went to play for Holtz at Arkansas. I just never really thought about that. So I started getting these text messages from people that said, we're saying that. And it made me realize I'm forever tethered to Lou Holtz. And I'm fine with that because he changed my life. Just like for you, Wes, I think it's, when you play for a legendary coach like that, it's something you're proud of, and it's something you're forever linked to, that legacy.
No doubt. So, was Billy Ray Pierce there when you were there?
He was.
Bill
Pierce was.
Who ends up transferred to Alabama? Yeah.
Yes. He was quite the guy. I think we only overlapped 1 year, but there are a lot of stories about Bill. I didn't hang out with Bill, but he was a character. For
sure. Oh wow, this feels like sharing time right here. Go for it.
It was definitely. Billy Ray Pierce made every tackle on the kickoff at Alabama when I was there.
Wow.
Yeah, they moved him to safety. He played quarterback, I think, at Arkansas.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
And
that's right.
Yeah, he was. There's one thing. There's several truths in life, but Billy Ray Pierce was going to make the cackle on the kickoff.
I love that. I don't know if you knew this or not too, but Bear Bryant used to have a relationship with Coach Brules in the fact that they would. With assistant coaches, a lot of time they would trade assistant coaches.
Well, Coach Brules and Coach Bryant played for the national championship in 1961 in the Sugar Bowl, and that was the team my dad was on.
Gotcha.
And I ran into Frank Broyles in Dallas, Texas. I don't know why he was there. I think I was there for the LSU game. It was Connor's first game that year. And I ran into him, and I talked to him for close to an hour. And that was the only time really I ever talked to him. And it was just, but it was awesome talking to him. And he was a very impressive guy. And you think of all what he did. Now, I know a lot of people think he held on too long there at Arkansas at the end.
Right. Well, it may be so. It's always tough. It was a different, it was a different game then. You had football coaches being athletic directors, wearing both hats at the same time, and so it was a different time, different era. I always wondered too, a guy like Lou Holtz or Bear Bryant or Coach Broyles, how would they do today with with what's going on now? Would they be able to operate with transfer portal and millions of dollars paying players? It's just it's so different. That's why last night up in Fayetteville at Bud Walton, it was such a sort of a surreal night, because obviously they gave tribute to Coach Holtz at the game, and then there was the Tyson deal, and they had about 10 or 15, they had 19 the teams that all had their patches on, the Tyson patches on, and then Nolan came out there in the court, and they announced the Nolan Richardson statue, and just sort of a overlap of history for Razorback sports, and it was sort of a neat deal, and just sort of a reminder of 40 years. A lot of things have changed in 40 years.
Well, Baz, we haven't had you on since the coaching change. Ryan Silverfield, tell me temperature-wise how the reaction has been. Listen, I know everybody's undefeated right now, but overall, what do you think of the hire?
Well, it wasn't a really popular hire at first. I think a lot of people felt like, we had to settle for him at that position after some of the other names. And so, but since that time, I'll give the guy credit. He said all the right things. He's hustling. He made some good moves. He retained some players that probably would have left. I'm sure they paid him well too. And he's raising money. He's making phone calls to boosters. He's got energy. Which is fine. That's not what I'm going to base my judgment on, guys. I just want to see a well-coached team that's disciplined and that shows effort, because we have not seen that the last few years. And I'll tell you, of all the teams that Arkansas played last year, one of the ones I was most impressed with was Memphis, who ended up beating Arkansas in Memphis.
Shouldn't have, but did, right?
That's right. Arkansas should have won, but Memphis wanted it more. And played better defensively. It was a team in the second half that really showed that they wanted to win. So that's what I'm wanting to see. So my judgment will be held until spring. They're like everybody else. They got 70 new players out there. Nobody knows who they are. They're from 5,000 different teams. And if you read one rating service that says how good they did in the transfer portal, I don't know, and I don't care. I'll look out the spring. I'll watch spring practice. And I will watch his coaches, and I'll see how they'll work on the little details, execution, and we'll go from there. But so far, he's making phone calls to boosters, and the guys that I know that are wealthy in the state say he's saying good things and he's saying the right things. And that's all you can really do right now. Raise money and put your guys through off season and get to know your players and coach them up. I don't care, go the Indiana route. Nobody thought those guys at Indiana were any good, and all of a sudden until they start winning. And so show me on the field how you can coach up a guy that's maybe a 3-star and make you play like a 5-star.
Well, get the old guys. That's what seems like the
you bet.
The winning some of the winning magic for Indiana and Vanderbilt, who had a good year last year with 30 6th and 5th year guys. And it's I think it's hard for to me, you look at Ole Miss, who's really done very well in recruiting and have put two good teams that historically hasn't had good teams like that in the past. And the way they're doing it is half portal, half recruiting.
Right.
Because your problem is if you just sign, like you look at Alabama last year, they end up having a number 4 class or number 5 class, Steve, one of the two. But heck, they lose 10 players from that class already.
Yeah. It's interesting math, and but I agree that does look like the formula rather of how you're successful. And again, it gave a lot of hope. The Indiana story, by the way, Brian Haynes, the defensive coordinator from Indiana, won the Broyles Award a few weeks back. But it does give Indiana. It does that the whole story of Indiana gives a lot of programs like Arkansas hope to go. Okay, Signetti, if you can do that in Indiana, you can do it in a lot of places.
They didn't have a fumble all year long.
I know they were so fun to watch because they were so disciplined.
It depends on if you were playing them or not.
Yeah, that's right. It was for you. Obviously, it was fun to watch that team play with effort, with intensity, with execution, fundamentals, and as you say, a lot of that's skewed towards an older player who. Two things: it's an older player who works hard, is well coached, and receives good coaching.
Knows how to work and knows how to. Doesn't have to. They know when to turn it up too.
That's right. Hey, you betcha. You bet.
Baz, I wanted to end with that Broyles Award. 35 years. Tell me about that, because I saw, at least on X, of a lot of pictures of a lot of folks there at this year's awards honoring 35 years of the Broyles Award.
Well, Steve, you're close. It's actually 30, not quite 35.
30. That's right, 30.
Don't put those extra 5 on me yet. I have no kids, but I got a 30-year-old assistant coach of the year award. Yeah, it was a great night, and you had some great. Matt Patricia could have won that thing. The defensive coordinator at Miami or Texas Tech could have won that thing. Of course, Haynes won it at Indiana, and so it was really all those guys will be head coaches. Obviously not Patricia; he's already been a head coach. Mike Bobo was also a finalist, but that Texas Tech, Miami, and Indiana defensive coordinator, man, those guys will be head coaches soon, either in the NFL or college. And it was great to honor Coach Broyles, 30 years of doing that, and we had some, we had Golish come in, who's obviously new head coach at Auburn. Gus Malzahn, one of our former winners, was there, so. We had some guys that have been past finalists and winners, and giant crowd, 1,000 people there. Holly Rowe was there, and Mark May, of course. It was just really a great night, and raising money for Alzheimer's caregivers. That's what the Broyles Award now does, as our charity gift, a charity focus. And so it's just a great night of great assistant coaches and honoring Coach Broyles for 30 years. We've had a lot of great assistants come through that Broyles Award. Matter of fact, I don't know if you guys knew, but 2 weeks ago, 4 of our finalists became head NFL coaches in like 3 days. And so I think there are 4 now NFL head coaches that were at one time finalists that came through the Broyles Award banquet system. And so it's not that that's the most important thing. We honor the assistant coaches, whether they're guys like Mickey Andrews, who was our first winner back in 1996, or Phil Parker, is a career assistant coach at Iowa. Or we get a guy, like Kirby Smart or Lane Kiffin. We get all those kind of guys come through this Broyles Award. It's always fun to watch them come through and be honored for what they've done, and then honor Coach Broyles as well, his legacy.
Well, you almost had another NFL head coach there halfway through the season last year, Steve Sarkisian. It felt like he had to come out and say that he wasn't heading to the NFL.
Yeah, that was an interesting deal. You got agents out there throwing things around, and who knows? I wouldn't be surprised maybe if he's back in the league and doing that. And you never know. Somebody asked me today. I did an interview and said, it was Feinbaum yesterday was asking me, hey, can you tell when the Broyles Award finalists come through which ones are going to turn out to be good head coaches and they're not? And usually I do. Usually you can look at a guy and say that guy's going to end up being a head coach, but. Well, we've had some guys that have just completely failed as head coaches, and some guys are meant to be great assistant coaches. Not everybody's going to be a Lou Holtz or a Bear Bryant or Nick Saban. Some guys are meant to be great as career assistants. But it's been fun to watch the ones that have become head coaches and been successful, and see the ones that continue every day to be great assistant coaches, and that's where they're happy, being as an assistant coach.
Well, it's been a while since we've caught up, and boy, we've caught up in a big way. I know last night was a big night up there in Fayetteville. Can't thank you enough for hopping on and reminiscing a little bit about your former head coach, sir.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Wes. Always good to talk to you guys.
Absolutely. Likewise. That's David Basil. Again, you can follow him on X at David Basil. That's 2 Z's there. But really good conversation there with David Basil. And by the way, Arkansas opens up this year with a home game against the UNA Lions on September the 5th. So that is how Coach Silverfield will start out his campaign as the Hogs head man in charge. And I mean, there is no doubt, at least in my mind, Wes, that Sam Pittman left it better than he found it, but he inherited a mess more than anything.
Well, yeah. I mean, so I thought Arkansas was it's so close to being really good or really bad. And when the wheels come off, there's nothing you can do. So they should have won two of they should have beat Ole Miss, or at least tied them, and they fumbled the ball. And then the next game was the same about Memphis. They're down by 2 points or 1 point. They're in field goal range, and then they fumble the ball. I mean, there was several games that they had chances to win last year, and they didn't. And then when they fired the coach, they couldn't ever get it right, the ship righted. I think everybody wanted to keep the motorcycle dude. I think that they were hoping to keep him.
Bobby Petrino.
Yeah. And
motorcycle dude.
Yeah, and they just, they couldn't get the wheels back on. And I think that's what they were hoping, that he would win some games and it'd be an easy hire. And when that didn't happen, then, when that didn't happen, they had to go out and find a coach. And the Memphis guy is a good coach. He's a good football coach. But does he have the money or resources to win in the Southeastern Conference? Because here's what happens. Even if you have one good year, and you don't have money, your roster's going to be rated. You can count on it. And that's just the way the game is played now.
Well, and that's what leads into that Tyson patch of, I think it's been reported, it's close to $7 million just for that, for just the patches across the number of sports. Of course, the most visible is going to be football. But the rest of the schedule there for the Hogs, how about right after UNA, it's at Utah, host Georgia, host Tulsa, at Texas A&M, then host Tennessee, at Vanderbilt, a bye week, Missouri at Auburn, host South Carolina, at Texas, then LSU. I mean,
every schedule looks like that though. And the Southeastern Conference it's going to be bad. I mean,
but for Coach Silverfield immediately to go to at Utah
and who's the quarterback?
Game,
that's the big question.
That's a great question.
So and until you go, I saw an article. Until you go to spring practice, you don't have any idea. And even then, you got a lot of time to get ready for the season. I think these going to 9 games is going to be the biggest mistake the Southeastern Conference has ever made. We'll be lucky to get 2, maybe 3 in at the most from here on.
Come on, I don't know about. I definitely not 5 like it was last year.
No,
but. You have 9 games.
But if you have 3 losses, you're done.
I get
it. The
it.
national media is not going to let them in. They're not going to do it. And you're going to have people playing schedule strengths of 70, 80 that'll have 1 loss, and they'll be getting in, and there'll be a big push to do that. And the Big Ten will be cheerleading it on because they have 5, good teams really. And that's it.
That does lead into another area I want to go into. Let's get that break in right now. There was an article in On3 as well as the Atlanta Journal-Constitution revolving around the playoffs. I want to dive into that on the other side. Your phone calls are certainly welcome on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, getting you ready for UH Charger basketball coming up in 30 minutes' time. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and we have amazing truck month deals right now at Lynn Layton Ford. With your good credit, get 0% financing for 60 months with 0 down, plus 0 payments for 90 days, and $1,000 bonus cash on new F-150s. That's 0 for 60, 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 bonus cash on new 25 F-150s. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Rangers, $5,000 off on Ranger. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2025 Explorers, up to $10,000 off. We've got new Maverick hybrids starting at under $28,000. That's right, new 25 Maverick hybrids are truck month priced from just $27,840, and you'll never be asked to pay any hidden markups or dock fees. Come see us while supplies last by March 31st. We hope to see you real soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
It's the perfect time of year to fly a kite. A Ray of Hope is hosting the Community Kite Festival on Saturday, March 7th at John Hunt Park. This free, family-friendly event continues a beloved Huntsville tradition of bringing people together through shared experiences, outdoor fun, and community connection. You can bring your own kite or purchase one at the event. Come and enjoy the celebration as colorful kites soar across the sky on Saturday, March 7th at John Hunt Park. Learn more at ashakaranonline.org.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We are less than a half an hour away of semifinal action on the men's side. You'll be able to hear semifinal action on the women's side over on Talk Radio WZZN. The top seed, the UH Chargers, playing host to the number 4 seed in Trevecca. That is, again, on campus. I am in beautiful Livingston, Alabama, down here. If you go past Knoxville, Utah, what other cities? If you go to Cuba, you're going too far. You need to hit that thing in reverse and head back to Livingston. That's where we are here in extreme West Alabama, right off of I-20. All right, final segment and final call for phone calls.
Town now is ex-Alabama football players. You seen any today?
Yeah, and that's just on the coaching staff.
Yeah, I know it.
It's. By the way, I was told that the football team was planning on being here tonight, and as of right now, the tiny quarters, I don't know if you've ever been here, Wes, but I would say capacity here would be around 250, maybe 250 folks.
Oh, wow,
so
really?
It is tight quarters, more than anything here at Pruitt Hall. All right, so story I wanted to get into, there was two separate stories, one from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. This was late last week, and then on Monday this week on 3 with Chris Lowe. He had an interview with Josh Heupel, and both Josh Heupel and Kirby Smart have both come out in favor of a 24-team playoff. And according to the Atlanta Journal and Constitution story, that they are not the only two SEC sitting head football coaches that want a 24-team playoff. It was, I remember when we were in Atlanta last year, Eli Drankowitz went right through it. He talked about it. That turned into a little bit of news.
Well, yeah, because if they make the playoffs, they won't be fired. I just think that's ridiculous. I mean, who wants? What are you going to play to June? I mean, think about it for a minute.
Yeah.
How are you going to play 12 more games? I mean, it won't be 12, but it'll be.
More games. I think a total of 18 is how, from what I read.
I don't know what these people are smoking. This is.
Well, we're staying at 12 for this year. 12 is where we're staying at for this season. But there is starting to be more and more of these headlines. That's why I wanted to bring it up with you, because I do agree with you, Wes.
I don't know what the format would be.
It would be a case of there has to be a real conversation of getting rid of championship weekend. There just would.
Well, how are you going to decide on the? I mean, I don't see it ever happen.
I know.
That's not going to happen. I'm just saying it's not going to happen. That if they do something along with championship weekend, like our like we talked about with what's his name, Coach Gruden, with Coach Gruden.
Yeah.
Something along with that, and there are 24 teams involved. Well, that might make sense. Or close to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you'd be 24 teams involved, and you get 12, or maybe I just think 12 is too many. I like 8. I just think that it needs to be special. They're going to water this thing down, and I mean, what kind of patch is Arkansas going to have? It's going to be like a Walmart Supercenter patch. I mean, what's that going to be about?
Well, that's back to the Tyson patch. It's just going to say Tyson Foods on it, and it's going to look like the packaging when you buy chicken or whatever from Tyson. It's just going to have that yellow look on the jerseys. I mean, honestly, is anybody else other than me expecting that we're going to get Yellow Fella to be the sponsor for Auburn football? I mean, I'm fully expecting that yellow patch on an Auburn jersey this fall.
I'm not sure what he does for how much he supports the football team. I'm not sure, because you look around, you don't.
Or maybe an apple patch. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
But I would say one of those two for the Auburn Tigers.
That's kind of nauseating to me, to be honest with you. For anybody.
Is there any what would be acceptable for Alabama?
I don't know. I don't like the fact that Auburn, Arkansas is going to do it. You think I like the fact that Alabama's going to do it? I don't know if they are. I mean, I hope not.
I remember how big of a deal when Franchione was there. They did the houndstooth ring around the top, and people didn't want that either.
No, I don't think you ought to change the uniform. I think it's just nauseating to me, to be honest with
Well, got two sitting head coaches in the SEC that at least have gone public with Josh Heupel and Kirby Smart in favor of 24 teams making college football playoff. So we've got that.
Two coaches have had many, though. I mean, I can't believe
the
the
entire
majority.
Big Ten has put this out there. So I would assume the entire Big Ten wants this. And it's starting to gain a little bit more traction. This is why I wanted to go there, because I'm reading more and more about it.
Everybody said we'd have 16 teams this year, and that didn't happen. There was a lot of traction for that too, and it all fell apart.
Yeah.
I don't think that we'll end up with 24 teams. I don't think it's possible. But I really don't. And the Big Ten keeps pushing. They want to get ready for the SEC championship game. This is all about money. That's all it's about. And they've tricked us into going to 9 games, which was, I think, idiotic. In the end, we'll look back at that as one of the biggest mistakes ever.
The fact that the ACC stuck with 8 games, that I wish why there wasn't a knee-jerk reaction of, all right, well, if the ACC's sticking with 8, we're going to flip back to 8. I agree with you, Wes.
I think they did
I think it's a huge mistake.
I think they did it thinking they're going to get a big TV contract, and they probably will, but they'll
they are getting more money out of Mickey Mouse. They are.
But in the end, it'll cost us teams in the playoffs, which I think would add up to more over time. So, yes.
Really good point. We're going to have to leave the conversation right there, right now, as we need to take our final timeout, and we'll head into pregame for number 4 versus number 1. It's the semifinals and the Gulf South Conference Basketball Championships, and it's coming up next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and we have amazing truck month deals right now at Lynn Leighton Ford. With your good credit, get 0% financing for 60 months with 0 down, plus 0 payments for 90 days, and $1,000 bonus cash on new F-150s. That's 0 for 60, 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, plus $1,000 bonus cash on new 25 F-150s. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on 25 Rangers, $5,000 off on Ranger. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2025 Explorers, up to $10,000 off. We've got new Maverick hybrids starting at under $28,000. That's right, new 25 Maverick hybrids are truck month priced from just $27,840, and you'll never be asked to pay any hidden markups or dock fees. Come see us while supplies last by March 31st. We hope to see you real soon at Lynn Leighton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnleightonford.com.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
I'm Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fences, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those 2-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
It's the perfect time of year to fly a kite. A Ray of Hope is hosting the Community Kite Festival on Saturday, March 7th at John Hunt Park. This free, family-friendly event continues a beloved Huntsville tradition of bringing people together through shared experiences, outdoor fun, and community connection. You can bring your own kite or purchase one at the event. Come and enjoy the celebration as colorful kites soar across the sky on Saturday, March 7th at John Hunt Park. Learn more at ashakaranonline.org.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC. I'm Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fences, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those 2-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Incredibly warm this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s under a partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky. Maybe a passing shower. It does look like most of us are going to be dry. We only drop into the low 60s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Friday as far as cloud cover is concerned. Temperatures climbing again into the upper 70s and lower 80s. There's also another opportunity for some rain.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. It's time for UAH Charger basketball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Charger basketball.